In this video, I'll be talking about how to identify whether you're playing against a bot, what are games against bots good for, and lastly, how to win a game against bots easily. So easily. It's so easy, I don't know why I need to make a video about it. Anyway, let's begin. Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, I upload videos from the game World War Armies, World War II, player versus player, real-time strategy. Oh yeah, I know. It's one game, yeah, not two games. So, just a side note that the points that I'll be raising in this video are from my opinion. They're from what I have learned from playing the game up to now, and also from inputs from the other players on Discord. And just so you all know, I am currently in about 2.4k ratings for all three factions. And so you can disagree with me about the points that I raised, but just so you know, you are wrong. I'm just joking. Or am I? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so the points that I'll be raising are also more valid for bots between the ratings of 1.5k to 2.4k. I am not sure whether bots below this range and above this range will behave the same way. And so if you are outside of this range and you notice differences, feel free to comment in the comment section so that all of us will also get to know about it. And alright, let's begin. So, first topic, how to identify whether the opponent you're playing against in a skirmish match is a bot or not. So one way is by looking at the loading page, and you can see the name of your opponent. So bots usually are named player followed by between 1 to 5 digits. So if there is 6 digits, then there's a high chance that you're playing against a human player. But if it's between 1 and 5 digits, then it is almost certain that it is a bot. So username is one. The other thing that you can identify from the loading page is the general levels. So if your opponent's general level is much higher than yours by +2 or +3 and above, and that is also another indication. And the other indication is the units level of your opponent. Usually the level, the units level of your opponent, if they are bot, they would be +2 and above. The other thing that you can also look at is the deck composition of your opponent. Bots usually have very weird decks, so ones that do not make sense strategically or they're not balanced, then that is also another way you can certain whether you're playing against a bot or not. So a side note that what I've mentioned so far are usually enough to indicate. However, now we have some players who are disguising themselves as bots, meaning to say they purposely key in their name to be similar to what a bot would be named. And so there are also other ways later on I will share more. In the gameplay itself, you will be able to identify whether you're playing against a bot or not. In the gameplay, a bot will not use the general's ability throughout the whole game. That's one. And also, bots like to send their infantry into buildings for no reason. So you will see them sending mortars into buildings, flamethrowers into buildings, engineers into buildings. Well, engineers are still useful in buildings, but there are some units they just send into buildings for, yeah, we don't know why, but they do that. Bots also do not compete for crates, and bots don't obey the population capacity rules. So that's also one way. If you notice that the a lot of units in the beginning of the game that is beyond the 5 population cap capacity, then that is also an indication. The other indication is that bots always auto retreat their infantry when their health is down to around 5 to 10%. And also, bots do not make tier 3 units even though they may have it in their deck. So if your game drag on a bit longer, and to 10-15 minutes or so, and there are still no tier 3 units, then that is also a indication that it is a bot. And just generally, bots have very weird gameplay. You'll notice that they are sending their light vehicle somewhere to do don't know what, and their tanks will be targeting infantry, or yeah, all sorts of weird gameplay. Then that is also another indication that that is a bot. So just a side note that in the beginning of a game, you may be matched into playing against a human player, but midway through a game, a bot may take over your opponent's game and you'll be basically playing against a bot. There are a few reasons why this happened, but yeah, it does happen as well. And you can notice it as well just by looking at all the points that I have mentioned so far. If you notice, the player have stopped using general's ability, they are not competing against crates, and there are these random infantries being put into buildings for no reasons or for no strategic reason, then and also all the other points, then you can know that your opponent has been taken over by a bot. So, next topic, what are games against bots good for? Yeah, they're actually good for some things. So, for new players, beginners, or you're new to the game, I think that games against bots are useful to learn how to micro manage your units, to be familiar with the different units in the game, to see how the different decks that you bring to the game works, and to also get used to the different maps, to know where are the choke points, to know where tanks can get stuck in, where are the different buildings that will be useful to garrison, to so that it provides vision, and is also useful for you to just in general be more familiar with the game, so that when you start playing against more skilled player or a human player, you would be better prepared for it. And generally, for everyone in the game, games against bots are good for farming ratings, of course. And it's also good for completing your daily quests, or those is it called season quests, the ones that are a bit more absurd, where you need to build things like 100 tier 1 units, or 200 tier 2 units, or how many million pillboxes, and yeah, those kind of quests. The games against bots are very useful for all this. And these games are also useful for testing out your unit's damage against higher level units. Yeah, it's a good time to experiment and to see uh, how to strategize your units in a case that you are faced with a human player that has higher levels than you. And very important, games against bots are good for boosting your confidence, especially if you have been losing a lot of games. Then games against bots are useful to for this. And just make sure that you destroy the bot in that game. And also, games against bots are good for during doing ridiculous things and then taking a screenshot to brag about it in the Discord chat. Yeah, I noticed a few players have been doing all sorts of interesting and fun things that you will not have a chance to do when you're faced with a human player. Things like playing 15 Jaegers, or I don't know, there was one player made a few mouse, I think two mouse and mouse tank, and so yeah, this kind of things. So if you are those kind of player, you can enjoy doing this with bots. And now the last topic that I want to talk about in this video is about winning games against bots easily. There are many ways you can quickly get a game over with when you are against a bot, and I'm sure if you were to ask in Discord chat, all the different skilled players will be able to give you all sorts of ideas how to do this. And here I would share with you how I usually do it. And usually a game against a bot can be over in within 6 to 7 minutes, and they are of course there are faster ways of ending the game, just that the way I am able to do it in my noob skill level now, this is what I am able to do. And basically what you want to do is to build a tank that ignores damage from pillbox and send it right to the back of your opponent's base and just base kill. That's it, basically. Alright, thank you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm just joking. Let me elaborate a little bit more. So, for US, I like to send a Sherman. For Germany, if I have a Panzer III, I would send that. And for USSR, I usually do this with Betka, or what's the name of the other tank? T-34? T-38? The tank? Yeah. And you just send that to behind the opponent's base and make sure it is a bit further behind so that units that are just built do not have range to see you. And that's because if they do see you, they may come around and attack you. And if there are mortars or priests, then they can start attacking you. But generally, the other units, the other tanks, in my experience, they usually would just send it into the middle of the map and do other things and not defend to save the base. So yeah, you can see in the footage here how I do this. And yeah, this is how you can just quickly end the game if you just want to get the game over with and start trying to queue into human players, you can do this. So thank you everyone for watching the video. If I have missed out on anything, do let us all know in the comment section. And if you find this video helpful, do drop a like, and to get notified of new uploads such as this, you can subscribe. Alright, see you all in Discord and in the game. Thank you.